So why is it that 92% of guitarists give up within the first 4 months of picking up the instrument? First, let me ask you another question. If I wanted to get really good at playing like a fast metal riff like this, should I learn the same ideas as this guy that's trying to learn blues guitar? Or should I learn the same ideas as this guy? Which I'm going to say probably not. Like, I always found it like very fascinating that guitar instructors had like one outline that they taught all of their students no matter what style of guitar they wanted to play. It's like if I went to a personal trainer and said, I want to gain as much muscle as possible in the next like 6 months. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to put you on this same program as like Susan over here, who's 63, and her goal is to just live till she's 85. That doesn't make sense. It wouldn't work. It doesn't make sense at all. So why do we do that when it comes to playing guitar? So this video is for somebody that is just starting out, that wants to learn like a metal riffing style of guitar, or even somebody who has already been playing for a while but wants to like start over from square one. I'm basically just going to go over what you need to practice and learn in the next 4 months as a metal guitarist. So there's 2 key ideas that you need to focus on. Only 2. The first is going to be like the 4 most essential techniques that you're going to find in like almost every metal riff, which is down picking and palm muting, aggressive alternate picking, which is different than alternate picking because there's more aggression, and then string skipping as well. And then the second idea is timing, like understanding how to play in time and learning how to play to a metronome. So you should learn the techniques basically in the order that I just showed you them. But if I was just starting to learn guitar and I had no experience at all, what I would first do is just learn the first 2 techniques, the down picking and palm muting, before I started to try to learn timing. So I'd basically just spend like 4 to 6 weeks just on those 2 techniques. I would get those figured out, learn how to play those, get confident with them, and then I would start to focus on learning timing. So for timing, you basically need to learn like what a time signature is, what the 2 numbers in a time signature mean, and then you also need to understand what tempo is, and then you need to get yourself a metronome and figure out how that works, figure out how to set the specific settings on the metronome, and then start to learn how to play actually to a metronome. So after I got timing figured out, I got myself a metronome, figured that out, then I would start to learn aggressive alternate picking, and then I would go into string skipping and learn both of those techniques and then take those as well to the metronome. So a lot of people ask, like, do you need to be able to alternate pick? Is it necessary to learn alternate picking if you can down pick fast enough? And my answer is going to be absolutely yes. Like, it's a completely different sound. Like, you can completely tell the difference between this. It sounds different. And not to mention that down picking is kind of like walking when alternate picking is like running. You can literally alternate pick twice as fast as you can down pick. So if you don't learn how to alternate pick, you're going to hit a wall a lot quicker with just down picking. So in the first 4 months, you basically want to get as good as you possibly can at those 4 essential techniques that you're going to find in like most metal riffs. And then you also want to be able to play ideas based off of these techniques to a metronome very fluently. And I said 4 months, but it really just depends on your level, your ability to learn, how much time you have to practice. Like if you're somebody who's been playing for a little bit of time and you're just coming back and starting at square one to try to learn this style of guitar, then you might not need to spend as much time on these few ideas, maybe only a couple months of this. But if you're somebody that's brand new, just picked up the guitar, you don't have a lot of time to practice, you might have to spend like 5 or 6 months on these ideas before you move on. You just want to be comfortable playing all these techniques, and you want to be comfortable playing to a metronome. And I always get the argument like, well, why do I play to a metronome when I could just play to like a drum track or a drum machine? The metronome is going to be the most straightforward, basic way to play in time. So it's a lot easier to learn when it's just like 4 beats versus like a bunch of drums and like fills and whatnot. So playing to like a drum track or a drum beat or a drum machine or just an actual drummer in the future is definitely something that I would do. I do that all the time. I'll just look up like metalcore drum beats at 120 beats per minute on YouTube. And there's a bunch of stuff out there, and it's a lot more interesting and funner to play to that stuff than it is to play to a metronome. But I would definitely start with the metronome and get that figured out before you venture off to playing to like drum tracks or drummers. And you might be thinking this is not very much stuff to practice, and trust me, it is enough stuff. So if you were to take this advice and spend the next 2 to 4 months working on this, and your buddy found another video, somebody saying like, focus on these 20 ideas in the first few months in order to get good at playing guitar. The difference between you and him is that you're going to be really good at these couple concepts at the end of the 4 months, when he's going to be not good at 20 different ideas if he's still even playing. He might have got frustrated and confused and given up before that point. And I'm telling you, if you do this, if you take this advice, you will get good and you will see results and you will be motivated to keep going. I'm currently filming a full course on the ideas that you need to focus on in the first year in order to get really good at playing a metal riffing style of guitar, and then how to structure your practice routines to where you can continue to see results for the rest of your life and still actually enjoy playing all the stuff that you're going to play in a regular practice routine. The link below will give you access to the waiting list. And if you sign up to the waiting list, then as soon as this course comes out, I will email you. And anybody on this waiting list is going to get the best price that I have to offer, that I'm going to offer this course. So it's definitely worth getting on the waiting list.